What's going on, you guys? Griffin here with another episode for you guys from the Country Slicker. So today we are going to be talking a little bit about jet boat impellers, why they're important, and why you should be checking them at the very start of your season. So as you guys can tell here, we've got our jet boat out. Now we are going to be pulling our impeller today, checking it for wear, checking it for signs of debris in there, or wearing away on either the wear ring or the impeller itself. Because we're right at the start of the season, it's always a good idea to check so that whenever you are in the middle of summer and you're looking to get out on the water, it's not going to be a hindrance and you don't have to worry about doing any upgrades. So we're going to pull it apart. We're going to hit this introduction real quick, go over a few of the moments that we've had throughout the last season where we could have caused some damage to the wear ring and the impeller, and then we'll be right back to chit chat about what we're going to do, how we're going to do it, and what we're looking for today. So stay tuned, you guys. We'll be right back after this quick introduction. Alright, you guys, welcome back. So as you guys can see, we've had a couple instances where we've touched bottom, we've gone through shallow water, we've picked up probably some sand, some debris, hit some rocks, and done some sliding. So that typically leads to impeller wear. So we are going to pull this thing out today. If it needs to be rebuilt, we are going to send it over to our buddy Jesse at Greywolf Industries, and he's going to take care of it. Shout out Jesse, thank you for the hat very much. I think it's a good looking hat, but we're running a Sea-Doo motor in this jet boat. It's a 161 millimeter pump straight out of a Sea-Doo GTX. So this is the 300 horsepower version. When we built the boat, we upgraded it with a stainless steel wear ring and a dual row Solus impeller. But I noticed on my last trip out some of the signs of a worn impeller, which is cavitation, trouble getting up on step a little bit, and then also just whenever you've got it in sport mode, you're spinning out a little bit. You're not grabbing as much as you do whenever the impeller's fresh and the wear ring's fresh. So we're gonna go ahead and pull that today. Now there's a couple different components to this. This is something that you should be checking, if not throughout the season, then for sure before the start of your season. And like I mentioned in the introduction, I don't wanna get into June or July and wanna be out boating and it turns out, oh my gosh, we need an impeller rebuild and it's gonna be a week or two out. So we're gonna pull that apart today, take a look, and I wanna show you guys exactly how we're going to do it and why it happens. So I'll drop a clip right here. You can see during this jump, I went off of something, I came up, and you can see real quick here, I'll slow it down for you guys, but you can see that debris shooting out the back of my jet pump. That means that my intake was not in the water, it was in the dirt and the rocks, and it was shooting garbage through my pump. So when this happens, it thins the metal on your wear ring / your impeller blades on the outside outskirts, and that can cause a problem. So I'll show you guys this here real quick. So this is our stock Sea-Doo impeller. This is what came with the pump whenever we bought the Sea-Doo and pulled it out for our jet boat. But if you look here on the leading edge, you can see a little bit of damage on the inside here. This one's not too bad. The biggest issue that you need to worry about is these outside blades. That's what's grabbing your water and cycling it through. You can see where there's been some rocks chewed and everything else, but essentially, yeah, you can see here on the inside impeller, there's some nicks and some this and that right on the outside here, but the real issue is on this leading edge. This is where you're gonna start getting cavitation, you're gonna get some aeration, and you're gonna have some issues getting your boat on step. So we're gonna pull this apart today and take a look at our dual row that's in the boat, and then we can go over kind of what's going on. Now, I'm not gonna pull the impeller itself out of the pump, but we are gonna remove the pump and show you that. So without any further ado, let's get to it. Let's take a look. Let's see what we're dealing with, and let's see if my impeller needs to be rebuilt or if not. One quick note is we may be doing this for no reason, because whenever I did pull the boat out of the water on our last trip after I noticed the cavitation, I did have a whole bunch of that red tape stuck in there, the stuff you would use to flag off a hazardous area or something from the police or whatever. There was a bunch of that garbage in my pump. So I yanked that out of there. I'm sure that was contributing to the cavitation, but we'll take a look. We'll see what happens, and we'll see if we need to do some repairs. So let's take a look at the pump here. All right, so this is our jet pump. You can see we've got a reverse bucket here, and then we have a couple things that need to be a couple things that need to be removed before we can pull this pump out. So a couple things. This arm needs to come off. That's our reverse bucket / our stopping power on the boat. On the other side, you guys can see over here, we have our steering arm, which is nestled right in here. This is gonna come through and I'll get you guys a better shot underneath here. But basically it is this little nut that my finger is on, that needs to come out. So we'll pull that guy out. And then from there, we're gonna be able to remove this bucket. We're gonna be able to remove the nozzle, and then the pump is right back here. That's the gravy. That's what we're trying to pull off, and then we'll be inspecting it to see what's going on. So do this video for you guys. Hopefully this offers a little bit of value. I've got my buddy Adam coming over. We're gonna have a beer or two and work on this together. He's got a lot more experience doing this than I do, so hopefully he can offer some insight and tell us a little bit about what he thinks when we get that thing out. But without further ado, let's grab some tools, see what we need, and go from there. All right, you guys, so we're getting the pump dialed here. So it looks like I get you some light here. So sorry, you guys, unfortunately, I use magnetic lights when I work on everything. And guess what? Aluminum jet boat, magnetic lights, doesn't work so well. So, but we'll get you some shots here. Basically, what we're gonna be doing, you guys, is we're gonna take off 1, 2, and then underneath here, you guys can kind of see it in there, 3, and then on this side, 4 bolts. That is going to shift this entire ride plate backwards, and then we're going to drop. I already took off this this steering arm here. This I can get you some light for. You can see there that I've already taken that bolt off. That's my steering cable. And then on this side, this bad boy, we've got this arm. So this bolt right here needs to come out. So we're going to shift this entire ride plate backwards. This whole kind of gray piece here is going to come back. We'll drop that arm. That's going to remove our jet nozzle. And then from there, we're going to go to removing this pump. So stay tuned, you guys. I'm going to drop all those bolts out, and then we are going to pull this sucker off. All right, you guys, so we got this bucket off. I just took those 4 bolts out. That came out, and you can see here 1, 2, 3, 4 bolts. And now this pump should just come right out. Oh yeah, here we go. Damn. And we're looking into our pump. Looks like we got about 1 billion different gaskets there. I think this goes in here. I think that goes in here. All right, you guys, so here is the pump. So you can see these edges don't look too bad. We got a little bit right there nicked up from some rocks for sure. But I'll put this light on here for you. So with the light in the back, you guys can see there's a little bit of a gap there. Little bit, not too bad, but there is a gap. So, and if you can see in the top here, we'll spin this. You guys can see in the top there, we get a little bit of a gap still. As per Jesse at Greywolf, we're supposed to be able to barely fit a piece of paper through there. So I think I am still gonna send it to him. It looks pretty good to me, to be honest with you. You guys can sort of see here in the sides, like the here, I'll get the light and bring this over here, but that wearing looks pretty good. I don't see a lot of issues there. I don't know if that's what's causing my cavitation, but we're gonna send it to him. We'll see what he says. At the end of the day, I've also got this backup one that came stock with my machine, so we'll see about getting this rebuilt as well, so it's nice and tight, and we got a second thing to swap in. But it's actually a good comparison. You guys can see here, that is a single row impeller versus a dual row. So you've got a front sort of piece to it, and then a second piece in the back that actually hooks up. So that's kind of the difference. And you can see here, even the nicks in the edge and stuff, this one's actually almost in worse shape. Like you can see the chips taken out of that guy. So, all right, you guys, so I went out and got myself a set of feeler gauges from Crappy Tires. So this is the tightest one that I can get in there. This is 0.014 thou. So if you see here, we can just get this guy in the side there. It's not, I know there's not a lot of light here, but I can just fit in the side, kind of up in here, just get in there. So that is, yeah, there's nice and close for you guys, but that is how tight that impeller is. That's after about 8 hours of us thrashing on it, beating on it, putting stuff and garbage through our pumps. The edges honestly don't look that bad. According to my buddy Adam yesterday, he was saying, nah, don't worry about it, don't even send it in. So I'm gonna send those specs over to our builder, Jesse, see what he has to say, and maybe we'll rebuild it, maybe we won't. I'll update you guys as soon as I hear back, and then we'll kind of go from there. All right, you guys, so I spoke with Jesse over at Greywolf, and he says that we are good on that 0.014 thou of an inch clearance on our impeller, so we're gonna keep running it. We're gonna run that until we get to about 0.03 to 0.05 thousandths of an inch on the clearance. That means that we're going to be actually running a lot less water through that pump. We're going to start to see some cavitation, some slippage. So we're going to actually run the boat with that impeller. We did send it out to Jesse, and he took a look, cleaned up some edges for us, but overall he was saying that it looks good. We did also get our secondary impeller, which I had on the bench earlier, sent out to him, and he cleaned up those edges as well. But we are set to go for jet boat season. The boat's going to go back together the exact same way that we pulled it apart that we showed you guys earlier, and we'll be running the jet boat up the river in no time at all. We're very excited for this year's boating season. So if you guys enjoyed the video, if this gave you some understanding as far as what to look for, what you should be looking at for clearance, and how to pull apart your pump, be sure to give us a subscribe, follow along on the channel. We're going to have a lot more jet boat content coming at you guys this year, and we're excited to have you guys along for the ride. So that is the end of our video. Thanks for following along. I hope there was some value added. If you guys have any questions, drop them below in the comments and let us know what you need answered, and I'll do my best to accommodate. And if you guys do have an impeller that does need to be rebuilt and it has more clearance in it than we did on this video today, talk to Jesse over at Greywolf Industries. He is a wizard when it comes to rebuilding pumps, building jet boats, making modifications. If you guys need any underbody work done, if you guys need any welding done, if you guys need UHMW, etc., etc., the list goes on. Jesse's your guy. Jesse is out of Millet, Alberta, which is near Edmonton, and he can take care of all your needs. So we'll talk to you guys in the next video, and we will see you guys out on the water. Can't wait for it. Till the next time, you guys, Country Slicker out of here.